but for whatever reason, you know, somebody just put that line of code under Chronos here. It's like, by the way, it works against Slark.
Well, how do you dance when time stops?
5 seconds remaining.
I suppose.
That simple, man. It's that simple.
Wraith
King comes up here from MVP. So now we start to play around a little bit more with our lanes. We've got Jakiro and Tree, who we already assume as the two supports here. With the Wraith King, this kind of forces them to run him as a core hero, but do they try and grab him in an aggro try? That's where he normally ends up in such situations.
I suppose. I mean, I think Wraith King has to stick with Treant Protector and Jakiro because unlike Slark, Wraith King is not exactly self-sufficient. You can put Slark mid and he'll do okay. But
the problem is Slark doesn't know who he's up against in the mid yet.
Not yet, but he is versatile enough where you could shift him from, for example, mid to bottom or into a trialing. But whatever the case is, I feel like Wraith King is a very horrible pick. I would have liked it if it was just against AA and Nature's Prophet. But against Faceless Void, you're a glorified melee creep in a lot of sense, and a Chronosphere comes down, you just kind of stand outside of that and you're like, well, I can't really help.
Yeah, you throw a Hellfire Blast, but if... Actually, there's not many Faceless Voids these days that keep on getting BKBs early on to try and deal with these ranged stuns. I feel like in this situation, maybe he has to, with like Ice Path as well as like Hellfire Blast. It could cause him some problems inside the Void earlier on.
Well, the thing about Faceless Void playstyle, especially being popularized by DK, is that he is a walking Chronosphere for the first 25 minutes, right? You get that Axe Scepter up, and normally saying, well, where's the damage? But if you look at the support of here, AA and Woodchopper is carrying that early damage load. So he's going to walk in, he's going to Chrono, and if you want to Hellfire Blast him, I'll take it off. But until maybe the third item coming in, maybe like it's a Axe Scepter into, I don't know, like a MKB. Then he's going to go back for the BKB. At that point, you want to stun him, but you can't. So I feel that Faceless Void, despite him being able to get stunned early on by Wraith King or Ice Path, he doesn't care, because he's not dealing the damage at that point in the game.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm really good. I had this happen to me only today, though. Like, I was sitting up there on the couch with everyone watching. I'm just like, you know what? I'm backing Mythtrust's draft. It just looks so much stronger in every way, shape, or form. And then somehow MVP. They found their timing, they kicked back in the lane. So I'm not going to count them out as far as the draft goes, but I'm with you saying Arrow Gaming's draft is a lot more stable. Their ulti combos are so much easier to throw off. Their lane dominance is so high. And then, of course, their lane pressure is also just so high that MVP's going to have a hard time trying to keep up with where Arrow are moving. I kind of still want to see the last pickup being a Zeus from Arrow Gaming. I know it's kind of crazy when you throw in that many ultis, but I'm a big subscriber to the old KaiP lineup when they had the Faceless Void. That was when Arteezy was still playing with them and he played the Zeus. They had the AA and Prophet with that too. Templar Assassin with the final. So that's going to be a mid hero. It's going to be aggro try from MVP.
And it's going to be a Darkseer solo mid for the Sigma. Although it could be MP solo mid as well. But again, another hero that's picked up when Chronosphere is down essentially does absolutely nothing. So I'm very, very curious in terms of why MVP is picking these heroes. And also, obviously, Darkseer, not only does he lane well against Templar Assassin because Iron Shell just kills Refraction, second thing is it helps your Chronosphere catching more hero. You can vacuum and then Chrono, or do it the other way around. It just makes it so much easier.
Just surprised we're seeing that Darkseer in mid.
Darkseer mid is kind of a forgotten solo mid. He's actually really good because if you look at what mid lane wants to do, a big part of mid lane is wanting to control that creep equilibrium. So you could on demand put on the Iron Shell on yourself. You push the wave, you get the bottle. Against TA, she doesn't really have good counter pushing ability. If you shove 3 or 4 creep waves or 3 or 4 creeps under her tower, she can't really clear that quickly. So I feel that DDZ, should he be going mid, he's going to have a very, very easy time.
Ourselves a pause out from MVP. They're actually asking for 5 minutes before we even start the drafting time. Got a feeling these guys have had to do their first best of 3 matchup already up against Mythtrust, and those weren't short games. Those games actually pushed closer towards the hour mark than the half-an-hour mark. So MVP are already going to be fatigued, while Arrow was sitting there on the sidelines just watching it all. I'm actually really sad, man. Really sad about this.
Sad about what?
DDZ.
What about DDZ? Playing support. Or sorry, he's playing mid.
Yeah, that is the Darkseer. I was really looking forward to an Invoker or a Tinker, but I suppose, hey, we've got at least another 2 games.
You're looking for like a high playmaking hero? I think Darkseer can count as one of those, but the cooldown is fairly long. But I mean, we definitely seen our fair share of, hey, blink vacuum into 5 and then maybe this game Chronosphere comes in. So.
Actually, does the synergy work as well? Considering like you can get yourself a nice wall up, like you get back into a nice wall, and then Void comes in and throws the Chrono down.
Yeah.
And there's like, you're missing half your duration, well not half, it's no, but you're missing a large duration of that Darkseer wall.
I mean, you don't even need a Darkseer wall. You can just vacuum and then you Chrono.
Yeah.
You could drop the wall on top of damage. But
I'm just wondering if it's almost worthwhile when DDZ goes in, like it's a blink with the leap in from Void, they just do that combo first, and then you follow up with the wall.
Yeah, I think so. Like at the end of that wall, you drop down, or end of the Chrono, you drop down the wall for the extra damage. Obviously, the illusion creation as well. But yeah, for the most part, Aero is going to be running a very standard tri-lane. The problem with this tri-lane is that it doesn't really have the best killing potential. So we'll see how are they going to deal with Slark. I think what they should do best is harass him out. But again, Slark could easily pounce into the Witch Doctor, pounce into the AA. I could actually see a possibility that Slark wins this lane, which is quite rare, like an off-lane solo melee beating a tri-lane.
Yeah, it does seem kind of crazy, man. If that's even possible. I suppose they don't have enough burst damage to say, yo, Slark, you got to run yourself back from here. Now, if he does hit level 6, then he should be fine on that off-lane. And there's actually really no pressure coming out from Arrow. If Arrow had a hero that could force down the tower, then maybe it'd be a little bit more different. If that Chrono was coming up at the same time as you'd be seeing like Slark's level 6 coming up, then there's obviously straight up kill potential from that.
Yeah, unfortunately, our Slark player was not able to start with 4-man shield. I think if he was able to get 4-man shield right from the beginning, like suppose we were 6.79, we're pulling as a thing, like you could pull him 4 tangles, he could get his PMS.
Yeah.
He would actually just decimate this lane, but I think he'll still be fine. Like he just will get passive gold, get PMS in the first minute or so, and then whenever Chilling Touch is down for AA, he could just walk straight up to the support and start trading hits, and he actually will win the right hit harass, or the trading harass. On the top lane is going to be the expected trialing for MVP Phoenix. And they're going to be up against Nature's Prophet, who does have boots first. So these two supports, I talked about how well they trade. The problem with these two support overall is they're very slow. So I don't think they'll be able to, you know, kill Prophet like you said.
I like the way what he's just done then. Drag the creep wave back down the lane to make sure it wasn't just the easy pull in. So the creep wave actually ends up in the position where, like, if it was an Nature's Prophet block, it would have ended up in any way. So nice little lane control there. So we got a quick pause coming out from Lance. I don't know if this is meant to be about any kind of lane. Yeah, and the admin's like, yo, why is also this happening? Every other lane looks quite standard for now. There's been a lot of damage taken by Slark. He's already triggering a salve down here.
Yeah. I mean, he decided to fight 2 supports when they had a Chilling Touch. I mean, that's the time you don't want to fight. At the same time, though, if you look at that Chilling Touch cooldown, it's a long cooldown spell, so he can now kind of come back in here.
That's true, but when it comes off cooldown again, like we're still going to get to a point. Actually, they won't get there in time to do a stack, but they could just do a pull through. When they come back in to harass the Slark back out of the lane, it's going to be back off cooldown. So just got to do it through this like 1-minute cycle every time. Yeah,
it's not too bad as a harassment spell, but the thing that we have to keep in mind is that essentially Aero has to keep 2 supports here to zone out the Slark. Normally, in this case, in a trialing versus solo situation, you want to have one support zoning him out, the other support either ganking mid or pulling or whatever the case is, stacking the jungle for your offlane.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 2 supports going to be fairly taxed. Also, these 2 supports are not exactly the best roaming support. So, should Darkseer ever have a difficult time, which I doubt so, they really can rotate and help TA.
Well, for now, we have a keyboard problem coming out. In fact, we've also had ourselves a disconnection coming out from Lance in order to fix it. Hopefully they sort out their issues sometime shortly. Of course, for those out there that didn't watch the last finals, the US finals, we expect this game to go for 5.5 hours today. And
or
then we'll
7.
come back tomorrow to finish the game off. The prediction for today.
That's just excellent.
It's a wonderful prediction. Actually, we were talking about our matches before today, and I was like, what do you think is going to happen, like Arrow versus MVP? Before the playoffs began, I was like, it's going to be a 2-0 and a 3-0. And I'm not sure I still want to stick to that.
Really? I mean, so far it's been true.
So far it's been true, but at the same time I was expecting Mythtrust to be here instead of MVP. I didn't think MVP could pull off what they did in their earlier consolation final today. And then they came through and they really surprised me. Like, there were definitely some problems from Mistrust with the way they were playing. And I don't think MVP are going to get the same mercy from Arrow, but at the same time, if MVP just get a little bit of their combo right, or they get their team fight push combo, which they've been working already, like if that happens, then they could at least take 1 game off Arrow. If they could potentially take 2 games, Korea can go wild.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I feel like particularly in this draft, I think Arrow's got the edge. Prophet's doing just fine on the top lane.
Prophet might be in a little bit of trouble though. He's got himself a haste rune, and he can just level up Leech Seed. His haste rune's just about to wear out though, but the creep wave's now finally up the tower. So Leech Seed to start with. He's got to get in front of the body block so they can get in range. But okay, now they have Ice Path in the Hellfire Blast, and Nature's Prophet will die on this top lane. MVP still the first blood, and they won't be able to do as much damage to this tier 1 tower as they probably would have liked.
So, next time to pick off, because Prophet and Bootsby should not have died here. Also, the cool thing about this particular lane is that after a kill, they could push just fine with Liquid Fire. Now, it's not exactly the highest level up spell just yet, but any chip damage is nice. Now, they're the one with the Treant Protector, so the enemy team can't heal up these towers. Meanwhile, it looks like Slark is going to go into the jungle. PMS is already upgraded, and he should do a fine job harassing, zoning these 2 supports. And if you look at Witch Doctor, level 2, AA level 1. You want to get their level 6 as soon as possible, but so far he's been able to keep the priority onto himself instead of him being able to pull and whatnot.
Yeah. It's the ultimate sacrifice.
Radiant's
Are they
top
again
tower
trying to have
is
a
under
crack?
attack.
Prophet again is forced out this top lane. This time though, without the haste rune for Heen, it's very difficult to find its opening. In fact, these treants just going to be sent down so they can keep tabs on that Treant Protector just a little bit longer. He doesn't really care about this kind of stuff anyway, because if he comes in for the gank with the Leech Seed, he's going to get all of his life points back anyway. Just making it life a little bit more difficult for the Prophet so he can't leech that experience. How's that middle lane looking? Because TA's up to 12 for 7, but the Darkseid's only managed to crack 8 for 1.
Yeah, I think and we see Darkseid coming around. This could be the kill right now. And suddenly, Heen is trying to walk the other way. He does have that Leech Seed. Should he want to cast it on DDZ for that slow and that regen? But the body block's going to come through. He's going to try to tango to create a little bit of space for himself. But I think that's going to be the kill. And that's a really big deal for Shanzi playing the Nature's Prophet. Or is it Shanzai? Whatever the case is. He was able to get, essentially a kill experience on a lane that he should not be getting any experience.
Yeah, and fed the money over towards the Darkseer as well. So all that hard work that was done by QO in the middle lane, now DDZ gets himself a little bit more space to breathe. And this bottom lane, like Forever hasn't been having the most amazing of times. Like he's 2.5 levels. I really thought he could stick close enough that he could be pushing this level 6 before Faceless Void would. Void is up at level 4, and this is when you see like the sacrifice of Ancient Apparition as well as Witch Doctor for those early levels really just starting to pay off. By keeping both of them there, they don't allow the slide to gain any kind of momentum, and without items, without momentum, you don't really feel Slide can do much more.
This is also a fairly interesting skill build coming out from Slark. Slark gets a point into Essence Shift, which is a spell that you generally take if you expect to trade hits, especially against a melee hero. But I don't think he's trading hits with anybody, at least not at this given moment. So I thought Dark Pack would have been a better defensive spell to, debuff whatever nukes or stuns that are coming your way. But, he goes Essence Shift, and we'll see if he decides to level up the spell. I imagine Pounce Max is where you want to be at, but, for example, maybe the Korean metagame has a kind of different outlook on how Slug should be played.
Of a straight one-on-one, then yeah, you go for it, but in this lane doesn't really 100% work. Heen's moving up towards the top lane again. He's been just flittering around here as the Treant Protector, and now he actually gets far enough in for a Leech Seed, but the Hellfire Blast is not in range. But because he actually bumped into the tree line, now they get the Ice Path, there's TP support coming in, and there's the Ancient Apparition. He's going to turn the survival and actually lock him in with both the Sprout and the Cold Feet. March is held in position. He's the core on this lane for MVP. A quick heal, now will pop off back past the tower, and they can't reach him in time, but DDZ's coming in. Iron Shell, and instantly Jakiro turns the other direction. But then, so does DDZ. Has to come back in with both Johnny as well as they just Prophet here. But DDZ surged himself down with a quick stun. They hold him in position just long enough for the Iron Shell to come in range. And now Region gets burnt down a lot more. Wish not to just take the last hit. He'll get the kill for this one, and we go 2 for 1 on the board.
Yeah, I feel like MVP is just forcing things a little bit too hard with that tree, and this is the second time they really dove that tier 1 tower and paid a heavy price. I think if you're winning the lane, you don't need to go for kills. Just go for static advantage. You have a Jakiro, you can force that tower down in given time. But the fact that they're forcing these kills and giving experience as a result is really allowing MVP to scale ahead. Keep in mind that MVP or Arrow's lineup doesn't do anything until like minute 10, 15. And that's a very generous estimate, right? Like A wants 6, Darkseer wants like 11, Boy wants as much as he can get, Prophet same thing, and they're just handing them free kills. This shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, could be a little bit more defensive about all of this. Now though, man, that Void with a hand of Mice already up and running. Chrono, he's waiting for one target to connect onto. I'd like to see Johnny though getting a little bit more experience. Like this Ancient Apparition, if they can let him start pulling and actually not have to have him on the lane. I know they're still trying to find a kill here with the Faceless Void, and that's the primary goal here. It's just like give Faceless Void chilling touch, and then just let him go to town with 12 feet underneath, inside the Chrono too. So leap up, he just fates out the pounce from Forev.
I actually don't think they can actually kill him under the Chrono, because at this point A is only level 2, but there is Kofi. So Kofi's one of the higher damage spells if the target is trapped in place, which if you're under Chrono, you're trapped in place. Tier 1 tower top, and this is kind of what I talked about. If you're winning the lane, you could just go for the tower defend right now. There's more TPs on the way. The Sun's already gone to the Prophet, but the TP came onto the Tier 1 tower, and Chrono the Tier 2. Now Chrono, he doesn't have mana. He's short by 10, but they're still managed to get one kill. Moving over to 1 team with that Vortex, really slowing him down as well. Ancient Apparition will get that last hit, and Jakiro trying to cut his way back through the secret shop, and well, he buys up his item, expecting death to come his way, and it will actually be obliged. The Sprout is up, and Region is held in position. So 3 heroes lost. The Tier 1 tower does go down. It wasn't denied. It was killed off by creep wave of MVP, but they still lost 3 heroes for that. Yeah, they have just too much blood in their eyes. Just get the tower and get out, but they're looking to do other things more. At the same time, the silver lining for this is that Phoenix is getting farm on Forever on the bottom lane. TA is getting some farm on the mid lane. And this TA matchup, it should be very, very difficult for her, but looks like QO was able to handle it just fine using the Refraction Plus damage to get the last hit, and particularly to deny against Darkseer as well.
That's always the beauty of TA as well. When you go for those denials, you still hold the bonus damage when you go for your denials?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And then you also get the side play damage coming out from that, but you don't lose your refraction charge.
Yep. On the top lane here, looks like Lance perhaps is going to get low
lane for the moment, man. That Slark has already managed to pounce on the Nature's Prophet. He throws the ulti out, and Forever, he's still got his ultimate Velma, so goes inside the Shadow Dance, trying to kill the Nature's Prophet. The stun over to March, and the Sprout does go down, but Slark straight back out again, going into the Witch Doctor. DDZ, his body's blocking him, using that Iron Shot damage perfectly. Visible, and the tower actually kill him off. Ice Pump onto 2. March is low on life. The tower keeps going on him. DDZ surges away. March, they need one more attack, and there's the heal coming up from Witch Doctor. Can't buy him enough. Actually buys the tower. Enough time to get that last hit in. Ice Pump from the side lands. He's got time walk off cooldown in 1 second time, and then he can go into the Chrono. He can't get the instant kill, but with Prophet TPing in, they can at least Sprout and hold them in there together.
Doing no damage.
Living Hover is protecting him, and that's the reason why. But with Chilling Touch kicking in, the DPS coming out is finally enough for Arrow to get the kill.
Yeah, MVP Phoenix is not trading as well. Unfortunately, March, after he threw out that nuke, he did not have mana for reincarnation. Could have been a different fight as a result. And you can see the global Prophet TP being a big part of that, because instant +1 was a huge deal. I'm pretty impressed with Lance's play on the Chrono Faceless Void, because every time Chronos is off cooldown, he's making a play. A lot of Void likes to stay in lane and just sit, farm, and he is doing that, but he's also helping his team by defending the Tier 1 towers, forcing out kills. I feel like Arrow is playing a lot better than MVP Phoenix, and their lineup, which is designed to win the mid game, well, they're winning the laning stage really heavily right now.
They're coming into mid for Johnny. The Ice Path will be able to connect, and with Melt Attack, Johnny will lose his life right now. Witch Doctor's not going to let him get out of here scot-free though. Templar Assassin copying a little bit of damage with the cast, but it's a worthwhile trade. Ancient Apparition dead again, and they were trying to give him the space to find his level 6 in the middle lane. That's why he's there so exposed.
Yeah, and he's actually fairly close to it. Witch Doctor is also going to get level 6, so like you pointed out, they have a fairly big AoE combo. And I think I want to speak to why they... we'll talk about that later, because March is coming in. Ice Path does miss, so I think this is where you just give up the push, but they're going to just keep on going. The cast not bouncing properly. They're going to go on AVF. Well, he's actually going to survive. The secondary stun is going to come through. March still has that reincarnation, but they're really deep in kind of no man's land. March is going to reincarnate here. TA, he does have a phase out there, but he gets stunned under, and he's going to be dead. They're pinging on March. They want him dead as well. He should be able to walk away. He does have Calling Blade, so Sprout would not be able to lock him down. So MVP going to be fine. But on the back line, Jakiro is going to get brought off.
Basically no life points, and DDC just sees him walking around because this observable is a little bit deeper down inside the river. It's like, well, that Jakiro is quite easy. Well, I've already got Iron Chill on myself. Search for that one. White Chase after an SK is a full line. But he came, the Jakiro came back in again to liquefy the tower, so it could just be finished off by MVP. That's the reason why he turned around, but ended up just feeding a kill to Arrow.
I just want to say that if you guys are asking why the hell is MVP taking these fights, because every time they take a fight, they are trading 3 for 2 or 2 for 1. They're always coming out behind in terms of trades. It's because they can't take any other fight. If you imagine a team fight from MVP going against Arrow, like what is their team fight? They have Ice Path. That's probably it. They have Overgrowth, I guess. But if you chrono and throw out a cask, Arrow could easily win fight against essentially melee heroes like, you know, the Slark, the Wraith King, and if you want to count TA as a semi-melee at this point in the game. So they really have to kind of take these scrappy fights where Templar Assassin and Slark is really excelling at. So I think they're going perhaps a little bit too ramble, but this is the correct way to play this game. They can't take team fights, they should take random fights here and there.
They're kind of forcing themselves into a position where they have to take a team fight though. They started up on Roshan. You can still have like Nature's Prophet scouted slowly, and Darkseer has already got a large amount of farm. In fact, has a full mech done 12 minutes into the game. Team fights are so much more powerful for Arrow, but MVP, like, you start Roshan, you gotta be ready to team fight. There's no other choice.
I think another option, if they want to take the Roshan, they can actually just do a 2 or 3 man pressure on one of the lanes and just smoke in with TA as well as Wraith King. I mean, with the melt damage, refraction damage, they could easily take it. But in that particular case, just earlier, it was just TA trying to solo it, and she, by herself, can't really do it that fast.
Easy took the bait. The illusion rune of the TA. One down, he tried to clean it up before it got any deeper. This is just going to turn into a little bit more of a passive kind of moment until maybe Arrow feels, actually no, they've got a lot of heroes down this bottom lane. They may just try and force this bottom tower. Faces Void doesn't want to be part of this though. He's got the 2,300 gold away from having his Aghanim Scepter. He does not want to be full into this bottom engagement.
I mean, if the fight gets chased to the other direction, he'll TP in.
That's mark my words myself. The leap down and away. Looks like the Pounce wasn't able to leash him in. Does reveal the fact there's 2 heroes up on the top lane.
I mean, that's fine, because MVP, by pressuring this particular tower, that will draw a couple of heroes from the bottom lane. And should they want to look for that Roshan, this becomes a lot easier. Ice Blast is wearing down, and here you go. QO is going to go right back into it. He needs a little bit more help, though. Again, Templar, I mean, Meldon Refraction is nice, but can't solo Roshan. I think Dendi tried the TI finals and got bashed like 4 times.
A lot of power behind that TA, but not that much.
Yeah.
And now the smoke is there. They throw down the sentry ward. They saw MVP from a way away. The sentry ward going down. The trees were able to de-ward that one out, but DDC also just shows himself a little bit too close. They are watching Roshan like an absolute hawk. There's no space for MVP to do this. Unless they're just trying to keep Arrow's attention away from the Slark. And that's been successful. He's got drums, orb, treads, PMS.
And here's the issue though, like, the items you listed out, it's great for 15-minute fights. It's not great for 25 to 30 minutes fights. And that's kind of where MVP is really going to have trouble, because once a big push is coming like this for Arrow, how do you defend this? And here comes a DDZ, he's just charging straight in because he knows he's really not going to get killed. And should he does get killed, the enemy team is going to clump up for that Chronosphere. So Prophet's going to TP in, we're going to see a big push coming out, and there's really no defense. The stun's going to go through on DDZ, Ice Path is going to follow up, in fact it's going to go on Shantai on the other side. It's going to be in Chrono, it only gets March reincarnation in 1 second. He won't be able to figure it out. No, he's already dead, there's a buyback from Marge. He wants to TP back in, but where does he? No, there's a TP, and it's gonna go on tier 2, I think.
And this is crazy to do, so he went back inside the wall, and there's just too many illusions found. It's his ankle trigger, but the rest of Arrow just stick around and kill him all up again. The Sprout will hold him in position, and they walk around, look for a time lock. Yes, a stun over on the Faces Void, but the cast keeps flying out. That vac was absolutely perfect from DDZ.
Yeah.
Like the Chrono wall went up and it caught one hero. He drags him back in to hit 3 and then puts the wall just on the edge of him as 2. So we got all of the copies, some of them even outside the Chrono so they could actually be effective. The fact that Wraith King died straight away, like it was a buyback into a death, into a secondary death.
Right. When he was dying in the first death, his reincarnation was like cooldowning in 1 second. So it was very, very unfortunate. He died twice now, reincarnation, either out of mana or just being, not being able to cooldown. And that's really the weakness of the MVP draft. It surprised me so much that they pick a Slark and Templar Assassin into a Void. Void Chrono is an issue. Again, like, yeah, you're right, he only got 1, but because you're playing melee heroes, how are you going to fight a Darkseer without being close to him?
You can't.
Yeah, the vacuum was an easy one. So, and that's the power of the Darkseer Void combo. Like, you can miss your Chrono, it doesn't really matter. You still have to dodge the vacuum, and you really can't dodge the vacuum with melee heroes.
The only option is to be strong enough and you can fight up against it, but how are you supposed to fight up against a vacuum when you also try and dodge a Chronosphere as you all come in? So Aghanim set this up on the Faces Void. It's a level 2 ulti, so he has a 60-second cooldown on this now with a 5-second duration hold. And that's in combination with what Ancient Apparition will give him, which is obviously, well, he's got Vortex maxed up. Ice Vortex is actually the highest thing he's maxed up instead of going up any kind of extra points in Chilling Touch or Cold Feet.
That's very interesting in the sense that they have a lot of physical damage. At the same time, though, I guess it'll make an Iron Shell hurt like hell. You drop an Iron Shell on your Void and he Chronos and walk next to people, like, that'll hurt, I guess.
Down from top lane is going to be evaded right now from the Prophet. He does not want to die right now, considering he can already buy a Necro Book and realize that Farev doesn't have a basher of any kind of
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Farev also going in for the Shadowblade build, who's going to be the man to initiate into Arrow. I still don't know who he's meant to kill off apart from Ancient Apparition.
He can't kill anything if it's in a 5v5 engagement. They need a split push. They need to do exactly what Forever's doing. Like pressure Prophet when he's trying to defend towers and then just split push. But the rest of the team is pushing much quicker. This is a fine playstyle. Oh, here comes a Blinken and Chrono. It's going to be Phoenix that's going to eat an Ice Blast. The vacuum on top, the Death Ward as well. And that's an easy peasy. And normally you say, hey man, they just use all of their ultimates. Let's go for a fight. But you know, you're down 2 heroes. These ultimates essentially have like a minute cooldown, so they could be ready in about 40 seconds. There's really no way for you to fight at all.
Yeah, there really isn't. Like, what are you supposed to do? Okay, Slide's got scouted out. There's a sentry ward behind the lane, behind them in the lane. So they saw the Invis in Slide coming up. Now DDZ's being stunned here in middle lane, but like, what's March meant to do against him? The Meg Charge will go. This Void can just Chrono and control them later on. We've even got 2 points up. Like, we've got a Necro Book now up for the Darkseer. We have a Necro Book up and then just prop almost a level 2 Necro Book too. So you start adding these into the fight, you're going to burn away all the mana of the Wraith King. You could even take away a large portion of what Slark can do. You take away his mana in a fight, he's going to have nothing left to walk with.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, that's definitely true, Toby, but I'm going to say that he doesn't even need the book for them to win the fight. They're just so far ahead. And the book is really good for everything outside the fight. For example, countering that split push, dealing with invisibility coming out from the TA as well as the eventuality of that Shadowblade Slark. So, and of course, split pushing these tier 1 towers should MVP wants to play like split pushing Rat Dota, that kind of style. So I feel the book also adds a different angle of attack against MVP Phoenix. And MVP Phoenix finally going back for this Roshan.
And again,
it's scouted. The Ice Blast is going to come in, so it's like, I don't think they'll stop MVP from taking this Roshan.
They've got to stop. MVP don't have the DPS to finish this in time.
That's true.
Void is walking down here at the moment.
He's got Chrono back up.
Into a Chrono on 3 heroes. They don't need the Ice Blast because DDC has found region. Backs it back getting it, and then with just the time walk slow, even get a time block into Jakiro. He doesn't get his Ice Path off. They cannot fight in such a close quarter area. Wish Doctor ultis back off cooldown, plus the Faces Void Chrono.
Yeah.
With just those two ultis combined together, they take away most of the life points of MVP.
You could consider a vacuum an ulti in this engagement as well. We're going to see a Chrono.
He's got Wish Doctor on the edge of the zone with his black ulti. Well, okay, he can't get himself out. He's locked in position too long, and they're going deeper. DZ backs him 3, and that's a team wipe of MVP. They'll lose Roshan, and they'll lose a tier 2, possibly even tier 3 base, tier 3 towers, and they lost a double raid king again.
It would not surprise me right now if MVP calls Phoenix, or calls GG.
Yeah,
to Phoenix.
I'll be with you, man.
Yeah, because this game is just over.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
It's just impossible. It's actually an impossible engagement to win.
Yeah, I mean, let's say if MVP Phoenix don't magically have 10k gold each on their heroes and buy like maybe 1 or 2 big items, I'm still doubtful whether they can win this game.
The major problem right now isn't even like, the items, like it's not the problem. Their problem is they can't get past the Chrono.
Is their heroes just suck against what this hero composition has?
Like, what are you supposed to do? Pounce to the other side? TA bought a Yasha to start with, and now it's going into a BKB. So there's not even a blink to get around the Chronosphere. And Perez, okay, now he just gonna get himself a nice solo kill over here on Johnny, but then, no, he doesn't. No, he can't. And they can't, look at them, they're on the edge of the Chrono. The problem is connecting. The Aeon will fly out, and as she still connects on 3 heroes.
Okay.
He needs to backtrack a little bit more. The Aegis Immortal will trigger here, and there are 5 heroes surrounding him. Time Walk is off cooldown. The Ice Path will hold him here. I saw 2 backtracks, but in comes the back with the bouncing cast. Wish Doctor ulti is still available, but he can't do it with the Ice Path so near to him. So they bring down the Tree Protector. They're just man-mowing this. Sprout actually controls his own Necro Book. Whoops. But March will run west, and he has just been body blocked up here by DDZ. And more stuns. Oh, actually, there's the finally stuns coming up. Leap up, and Faces Void will take the kill. 23-7. The creep wave's already on the tier 2 tower on the top lane. I'll take that.
For those of you guys that are watching this game, perhaps watching Dota for the first time and wondering why do we spend 10 minutes looking at boring draft screens and having heroes being picked, this is why. Because if you have a proper draft and the enemy team does not respond properly, you get a lopsided game like this. It's not to say that MVP Phoenix has been playing poorly, it's just you can't make apple juice with like lemon. I think that's a poor analogy, but hopefully people get what I'm trying to say.
I can understand what you're trying to say with it, man. You are right. Like,
you're taking a sword to a gunfight. Is another way I would say this.
That works a lot better.
Okay.
That works a lot better. But it is, you're right, it is one of those things where people are like, hey, come on, like draft, why does it take 10 minutes? Can't we just speed ourselves through this? And you got to remember, it's the game before the game.
Yeah. Which a lot of pros, I think, will say is a lot more important.
Yeah. It sets up everything for you. If you're able to win on the draft, then you got to work so hard. Like, the enemy has to work so hard to win back on the lane.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And basically have to next level them.
Oh, here comes the perhaps a final lane push. Because Arrow has all their ultimate. Blink, one-man chrono, doesn't matter. Worf gets the kill. Actually, if you see Jakiro's dead, there's no counter push. That's their only counter push.
Yeah.
And that's their mech as well.
Being removed, even these necro units, Temple Test can be careful when you lose the defensive charges here, but the tower's going to go down. Fortification's trying to stall them up now, and MVP are at least trying to fight to the bitter end, but we're going to go in again shortly. We've still got Darks here with his back wall combo, and they come in closer, and they do get the kill. That balance trip's already going to work. Now the Wish Doctor ulti out. Perez cops a lot of damage before he goes into his Shadow Dance, but now his ulti's on cooldown 3. He TP'd in here, threw in his own ultimate with the lead seed. Perez back in here again. They bring down the Darkseers. They have managed to get through the big tanky man, and then, well, there's just the counter. The Ice Path comes out, always makes profit in position, but Ancient Emperor is taking minimal damage. Void Chrono, 7 seconds left on it. MVP have to back up now before they get into a world of hurt, but then again, Phoenix isn't giving it up. Void jumps down, he's looking again here at Regent. Locked in position, the full Mjolnir is over on him, but then he's a 3-man Chrono. Beats down one, moves over towards the slide, double time lock, triple time lock, and gets himself a double kill with the Void. Mans is running himself away. A quick stun, but lands, leaps over, 1 hit, 2 hit, and then the creep takes the kill from him, denying him the triple kill, but MVP losing out on even more. But they didn't lose RoX. That's the upside.
Not yet. Not yet, because the Pro still has Void alive. He's coming back, and Treens are being made. Slark is buying back, and I think this is the time to actually get out here. But this Void, Void is, see, I got blood in my eyes. I'm going for it. There's a TP out, and Void says, man, let's just get out of there. He TP's out. There's no stuns, and he's fine. So I just want to say that Arrow ran into enemy tier 4s without Chronosphere, and they traded evenly. I say they came out ahead because they forced out buyback
Dire's
from
bottom
the
tower
start.
is
Yeah.
under
And
attack.
their voice
If
stayed
you
alive.
actually check the golden experience graph, it is very much the other side. It's actually both TA and Slark who had to buy back during that engagement. Bottom lane
Dire's
tier 2
bottom
towers being
tower
nuked
has
down.
fallen.
March comes into the wall of the living, but he's trying to go in for this, what I assume is either Halbert or it's going to be a BKB. And that means there's no initiation. Still, Slark can't jump, TA still cannot jump, she got a BKB up and running. But we're at a point right now where Lance just beats him down anyway. Sees it, Chrono's on the edge. So Templar assembles, beats through the refraction defensive charges, and then has to get through living armor. But with Banks back in again, and it comes with a bit of time while he's getting inside those Chronos. The double damages is just kicking in hard.
And there's a double Necrobook up on this team because Stark's here, able to farm one himself. If you look at DZZ, he is insanely farmed. Necro 3, Mech, Breach of Travel, and a Midas. I don't even know when he picked up the Midas.
No, they ran trip Midas. He picked up the Midas after he picked up the Mech.
Okay.
He just bought it straight.
Yeah, it's like Captain Midas. I'm getting a lot of kills. Anyways, here comes the defensive macro pyre. Not too bad, I guess. The whole for now. I'm not sure exactly why Arrow's pushing bottom with mid down. It's like, I think they just realized that. Like, oh wait, let's just push mid. That'll be a little bit easier.
Just poking and prodding through all the lanes. Maybe they're just waiting for the Chrono to come back off cooldown again. It's 10 seconds on that one. And Void just beats into the range drag. They're a little bit... Like, Void's the only one doing damage to that range drag. They're killing off rather quickly.
It's fine.
They use living armor to try and protect it. And now Void off call.
Oh!
There it is. Yes, he has the tree. Back in. GG. GG. Comes about 10 minutes after it probably could have been called. But right now, Arrow, well... Maybe I should have been right just to stick with my prediction from the very start. Arrow are looking absolutely perfect today. And MVP, Elaine just seems to be very weak.
It's the draft. It's really the draft. I don't even want to say MVP got outplayed. They play poorly. None of it